Right, I'm back. So this is a Intel DX400 series. Now, this radio is actually a UHF model and it's a DX485. There's also a UHF DX482 and there's various other numbers after the DX, all starting in 4. The difference between this and the 482 is the 482 doesn't have the screen or the buttons, just a basic radio. Right, let's turn it on. And you can see it says Intel. That's a good start. Might wait a few seconds while it starts up. There's the tone. Okay, now at the moment this is saying, I don't know if you can catch that, Zone 01, Channel 1, Yesway Limited. Put a company's name on it. And you can, 2, 3, you've got a channel selector on the top there, volume and on off on the right. What else can we say about this? The screen version is nice if you want to be able to select. I got much programmed into this regarding channels, but if you want to select different users to call, and also if they're users in your factory maybe are calling you, you can then see who it is. So you can have a storeroom programmed in, or car parking, or whatever, and it'll come up on the screen when they transmit. There's also various other options with this radio. Which I'll go into. But let's first look at it. Got a clip on the back, removable battery. There's two types of batteries. This is the longer lasting 2000 milliamp hour battery, but there's also a 1350 milliamp hour. Now you might choose the longer lasting battery option if you were having very long shifts, but for normal use, I think the lower capacity will be fine. Never had anyone say it isn't. So what else can we say? The main thing about these radios is their IP68. Now IP68, IP is ingress protection. Now the higher the number, the more waterproof and dustproof it is. So these being IP68, you could drop into water, a meter of water for an hour or whatever, they should be fine. Which is why these are popular with farmers. Now, you imagine, yeah, out in the fields, out in all weathers, rain gets on them, not a problem. Okay, another thing you might notice is why has he got such a long aerial? Well, these aerials come off. So there we go. You can get them with a short stubby aerial, which is great. It depends on whether, because basically the shorter one isn't going to be as efficient, but it's going to be, you may not want a great long aerial. It if we're trying to cover a wide area, maybe with like metal buildings and things like that in it, uh, where you might have, some companies might try and sell you a repeater. What a repeater being a device that extends range. What I found is using this, which is a quarter wave UHF antenna, you can, well, you cut them to the right length, the resonant frequency. That's where the cap comes from. You cut them with a cutting chart, and you can also put them on the meter and make sure they're at the most efficient length. But by doing that, you can get brilliant range out of these radios and not always need a repeater. Um, so basically, shorter antennas, yeah, if you're not needing to go communicate so far, but if you're running into an issue, or if your existing radio system even, I mean, here's a tip, I'm telling you not to buy a radio. But if your existing system has got short antennas and you've got communication problems, changing the antenna, having it cut to the right correct length, putting it on an aftermarket antenna might solve your problem. Um, we've had factories before now that didn't have full communication range with their existing system, and then in that case they actually wanted, it was a Tamworth manufacturer, they actually wanted new radios. They didn't work to start with the short antennas, so with these cut to correct length, bingo, worked throughout the site. Basically, customer saved themselves the price doubling, having to put in a repeater, which was great for them. Um, Perhaps I should have kept quiet, but I didn't. No, well, if it's If we can save customers money, why not? Right, so yeah, battery, clip. This is actually the second video of this I made this one. The first one was brilliant. I was really proud of it. I thought, yeah, you sound like a professional. And then I realised I hadn't clipped the microphone onto my. Well, maybe it's working this time. So that was 16 minutes of video down the drain. Right, another feature of these radios, you got things like man down emergency buttons on them, but another feature is encryption is now coming as an option, 256-bit encryption. Now, encryption is useful because obviously data security and people's details, there could be consequences if data was leaked out. Now, you always should think, using radios, you should always, I'd advise trying to avoid transmitting sensitive information over radios, because where there's a will, there's a way with most communication systems. But in reality, if you've got high levels of encryption enabled on your radio, you can be fairly sure it's hard to hack, for want of a better word. I mean, one thing I found a few years ago, there's the license-free. These are license radios. The license-free radios, PMR 446, they're known as, don't need a license. And what the local school was doing is they were using these. Oh, you think save money, great, but you could easily hear their transmissions. In fact, some kids' walkie-talkies would probably pick up their transmissions, but they didn't seem. They've probably been sold. Oh yeah, it's got privacy channels or whatever some manufacturers call these things. But basically, all that is meaning that you can't hear other people in the channel. It doesn't mean they can't hear you if they haven't got such what's known as CTCSS on the analog ones enabled. So basically, they would go, oh yeah, Johnny Jones or whatever, I've made that up, is, yeah, you know, they're going, you know, the blonde-haired kid, yeah, he's over in so-and-so at the moment. So they're giving all this information out over the air. Doesn't seem very, you know, I'm no expert on GDPR or, well, I was going to say I'm not an expert on safeguarding, but I am a qualified teacher. I do know something about safeguarding, but it wasn't a good idea at all. Schools really, it's a fault. Yeah, you really, if you're going to be using radios, you need to take advice. And something like this would do it with the encryption, which would help secure your data a lot more. If not this, other radios, there's a lot that can have much higher levels of security. But I'm digressing a bit. So this can have 256-bit encryption. It's strong. You can drop it in water. Yeah, you've got two options: a battery, charger. Now the radio sits in the charger, which it comes with. You've got things you can wall mount it onto the wall. If you've got a lot of radios, you can buy a multi-charger, so you only have one plug, but you have like 6 slots. You can put 6 radios in at a time. Save having to have lots of plugs and extension cables everywhere. Yeah, that's it really. I'm trying to think what else we can talk about it. Yeah, fits in the hand nicely. Oh, I wish I hadn't lost the sound on the original video. It was so much better than this. But yeah, I hope it's been useful. But if you want a demo, if you're a farmer, or even if you're a factory, or even if you're a school, it doesn't have to be this radio. It could. You're thinking, oh, I don't know, are radios secure? Well, yeah, contact us. Yeah, contact us via YouTube if you like, which is where this video is headed for, and we'll be in touch and do what we can to help you. Right, okay, that's Craig, and yeah, that's it. I'm laughing because this video isn't a patch on the first one, but I've got things to do now. I can't spend all morning making videos. So yeah, Intel DX 400 series, good radio. Drop it in water. Yeah, it can be. It doesn't. We can link it. You can do whatever you want. Want it linked to a repeater? It's the DMR standard. Did I even mention that? DMR being the sort of most common digital standard. So it's a bit like VHS used to be to video recorders. For those of you old enough, so we can. I put in a system not so long back for Pharma where we used the Intel radio and the Hytera, which is a different manufacturer, their repeaters, because at the moment Intel don't make a DMR digital repeater, though it's apparently coming out soon. So yeah, you can link to the repeater. The repeaters can be linked together. They can be linked via the internet. Basically, wherever you want to talk from one place to another, yeah, no problem. Distance is an object. If that's not the best solution, we'll come up with another one. But these are good. Get in touch and we'll help you out there. Cheers. This is Craig. All right. Have a good day. Bye.